Ah, this is indeed wonderful work. A fantastic idea. Very organised.
Thanks, boss. I figured we needed to let our customers know where everything is and what the derp coin can buy for them.
Yes, and this Employee of the Month idea, that's brilliant. What a great way to get more out of all of you.
Yeah, I figured we could all work a little harder for a reward.
Rewards? Are you mad?
Oh, I mean, the hermit that does the most should get something in return, right?
Yes, maybe they should. Employee of the Month? Make them work harder for free, fighting for some worthless prize. Sometimes I think this axolotl is more genius than me. Nah.
Ugh. Oh, God. What, what were we talking about again?
Rewards, my foolish axolotl. Y'all will be rewarded with derp coins.
Yay, derp coins, my favourite.
Yes, derp coins.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. I am in good spirits because we are raking in the profits over here, my friends. We have sold out all of our cheap derp coin stock, and also some of our more pricey derp coin as well. That means the derp coin is definitely in demand. And over here with the premium derp coin, we got a few sales here, we got a few sales over there, and we're moving some diamond blocks as well. This might just be our most profitable week ever here on the server. And I haven't even checked the derp coin spinner yet. And it would seem this one actually hasn't been that popular. Only 7 spins, right. Well, okay then. So I've dropped off Evil X's diamonds for him, and now we got a little bit of restocking to do. And while I've been taking care of that, I've noticed that something has popped up here. Now, the Evil X in me initially was like, no, you can't do this. You can't advertise here. But then I saw this, derp coin welcome, which is always a good thing. So I think what we should do is perhaps find these as they've been spread across the server and tack on our own little advertisement for the derp coin that maybe includes a map. Aha, and some instructions on how to get here. And, yeah, we got to talk about that later on as well. This map, though, it needs updating, as it doesn't have this glorious building built into it yet. And I added a little something down here with our water streams. There is actually an item filter that now collects all of the red poppies. But you might notice it looks a little overcomplicated with all of these extra hoppers. Well, the first one is the filter, and in order to actually suck out all of the items that come through fast enough for the composter, which slows it down, you have to have these hoppers hooked up like this so it can suck all the items through into the composter. Otherwise, the system backs up. And look at this, it has yielded us a whole bunch of bone meal. And there is actually no proper way in or out of this area at the moment. What I do is I throw an ender pearl into the water stream. This sometimes works. And then we go whooshing up all the way to the top here. And again, old ender pearl trick, right? Yeah, there we go. We can jump through blocks. And obviously where I've been under the weather lately, I haven't been on the server as much, but this thing has, well, not quite filled to the brim, but yes, lots and lots of iron has come through. So we are now ready to update our glorious map, which I didn't lock. Okay, that's very good. So yeah, you can see the building has appeared on the map as a bunch of, well, speckled blocks really. And here at the entrance it says free iron for staking pass holders only. And there's a further reminder on the inside as well. So I'll have to let our staking pass holders know that they can now get some iron. And just around the back here is where I hid a renamed banner. And yeah, that's positioned really nicely. Excellent. Actually, I think this being a black banner means that it doesn't really stand out. So let's replace it with a white one. Give it a click. Yeah, that pops out much better. Now, speaking of this iron only being available for our staking pass holders, but anyway, do you remember the Employee of the Month incentive? This is turning out to be a fantastic idea, as down here, Jevin has actually sold 2 more staking passes, and someone else has brought one on the server as well. I don't know who that is. So Jevin sold both of those passes to Doc and negotiated an amazing deal for shulker boxes. The 2 of them are the only hermits with shulker farms, and they're now going to be sold exclusively on the server for derp coin, which is just brilliant. I mean, well done, Jevin. That is superb. Jevin has been knocking it out the park this season with his builds and his base, and now he's gone and renovated the end dimension. So yeah, this is now where you will end up. There is a way to get to the old Enderman farm down below, but if we head up here, grab our rockets, fly into the sky, look at this. Wow. A beautiful circle bridge going around to all of the different ender portal points, and then each of these pillars have been redecorated, and here in the middle, a beautiful pattern to tie it all together. It really is something beautiful, and it reminds me that our Nether Hub is now finally finished. To be fair, there wasn't much left to do. Evil X's tunnel over here has been extended all the way to the other side, and there's a little cut through to get to Vintage Beef, which is this portal. And then just over here, we have Doc and Ren's Octagon Tunnel, complete with deep slate, and eventually this will be replaced with some oxidized copper. The other tunnels we created were the No Wings Club, my own personal honey and copper farm right here, and last but not least, Iskau and Efo have been hooked up to the Nether Hub now. So I guess I can say, job's done. And there is another project that I've finished with my time here on Hermitcraft as well. That is the exterior of our base, which has been a real challenge, but I've enjoyed it ever so much. This is me simply trying to challenge myself and approach building from an entirely different method, where we kind of put together all the shapes first and then decorate it later. And you know what? I think it's turned out pretty good. When you last saw it, it's this yellow sandstone tower in the middle that wouldn't have been there, and that is like the crowning piece of this build. And it just looks so good, I love it. One thing I hadn't done though is put string on it, which is something I have to do with all the builds in this area. Yeah, as you can see, we've had some settled snow here, which always kind of disrupts the build. So it's taken me but a moment to place that string, and yeah, it just makes such a difference to not have snow on the build, right? So it may be complete on the outside, but we got the interior to do as well, which I've been looking forward to, but we're going to come back to that later on in this episode. But as of right now, I have some campaigning to do, as we need to head around the server, find all of the spots where this is, and tack on our own little advertisement. And speaking of advertising, I wanted to introduce you quickly to my Stoneblock world. Stoneblock is a classic 1.12 mod pack that I've been playing on Twitch recently, and I've been having a lot of fun doing both aesthetics and grinding through the different modded projects. So if this interests you at all the VODs are on my second channel, and if you follow me on Twitch, you can catch me live when I'm playing some modded Minecraft. So over in Botham, there seemed to be some sort of advertising area, with Mumbo bringing adverts to this space. So rather than tacking mine onto the side of Cleo's, I figured let's create our own little advertisement block right here. And on my way to Gem's area, I found this thing. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love it. It's some sort of majestic swamp creature, and it just looks so very, very cool, especially with that hat. And I do think that this spot down here under the signs might have been a better place to advertise. Cleo put her one sort of out here on the edge of a hill. There's like a big giant nether portal behind it. I'm not sure if anyone's actually going to find this. Then we have Cleo and Joe's giant castle over there. This is set up next to Joe's flower shops. And in the end dimension, things were a little precarious, what with the void and all. Didn't want to fall into there, so I thought I'd play it safe and put ours inside the structure that already exists just here, next to where you kill the Enderman. Then we have the Big Eyes crew, and it seems that there's already a bunch of pop-up advertisements around here, so I'm just joining in on the fun at this point. Oh, and I wanted to mention that Corralis's base is amazing. It's been expanded a fair bit since the last time we saw it in a video, and it's looking gorgeous. There is even now a speedboat, look at this! Oh, that's so very cool. It looks very stylish, doesn't it? Also, What is this off here in the distance? Yeah, looks like a mob farm, obviously. Oh, I recognize that. Oh, I know what this is now. It's Tango's copper and iron farms. Right, distractions aside, it's time to head back over to our base. I love how this place looks as the buildings load through the fog. So very cool. So with our advertising done, I think we've conducted all of our Evil Empire related activities today, and now we get to focus on the base and doing some decoratives on the inside. This actually involves me doing something I've waited to do for a long time. So let's go ahead and start to knock out some of this temporary scaffold. Somehow that's still up there. Oh yeah, I guess it's resting on the top of those blocks. Well, there you go. I've knocked out most of it, and now you can really get a sense for how much space we have to build an interior here. We need ceilings, we need walls, but first of all, we're actually going to do some redstoning, as up here we have a switch for starting this farm. So what you have to do is hit it once and then hit it again quickly, because then it will create a 2-tick pulse, but this also needs to come back around again. So that's like the input method, and then the method to turn it off is to leave it on for a certain amount of time. And then stop it, because that signal is going around. The thing with that, though, is I did actually just create a second signal going through the farm that might have broken something. Yeah, it did this. We don't want it to be like that, so we need to design a redstone circuit to do what the lever does, and do it so that it doesn't create any breakages like this here. So here in my redstone world, I have sussed this out. This is basically our current input right here, and I've been looking at it and thinking, if you had like a flip-flop, you could have one state where that's pushed off to turn it on, and then the other one, when it's down, creates that pulse to get it started. However, this setup right here is actually kind of a constraint. We want to do this slightly different. So we can achieve that much better if we just change what already exists. That should be a sand block, by the way. And there's going to be where the 2-tick starts. And then over here is going to be our input. So that would have just created the pulse, but we kind of missed it. Anyway, flipping the lever again, it retracts it, so that will stop going around in a circle. So if I go and hit that lever, the timing is perfect for that repeater to send a 2-tick pulse through the system. The only thing here is that the interface for this is probably actually going to be down below. So I think we can achieve this with a couple of repeaters like so. We could have our lever somewhere down the bottom. So with a little extra redstone, we can make the input seamless. When I hit the lever, the lamp goes on to show us that the farm is running. And I've sort of added this to simulate that circle of the redstone signal going around. So when we hit it again to turn it off, then it disrupts the signal. And what's cool about this is it means I can spam this thing. I could probably break it if I spammed it too much, but if we used it properly, it's going to work just fine. So I've been inspired to do more redstoning and actually add an anti-spam system. So if I were to spam this lever, once I've hit it once, it will actually stay on for a certain amount of time. And there you go, you can see it's running. So it's impossible to time this correctly, but here we go. Did I? Oh, no, I missed it. So that redstone block has been pushed over to here. The items drain across, and then it gets pushed back and they slowly undrain. But all that time, this comparator right here is on. And so that means it doesn't really matter how much we spam that lever. Once it's been turned on, this will stay on for a certain amount of time. And that stops a silly sausage like me from breaking it. And you might think this lever is in a funny place, but I kind of want to build this up with some walls and do some design. And this really didn't have a place in all of that. But before we get to this back area, first of all, let's start to decorate this room here. It's taken me a while to suss out what I want to do here, so I've actually been doing some reorganizing, adding in new blocks over here. We now got a wall of colour to work with, and also we got glowstone here, which, by the way, yeah, it doesn't actually work because you can't send power through the glowstone block. Anyways, there are a variety of materials to pick from, but sandstone has kind of become the dominant one, with the tower being in the center. And our storage is the center of all of this, so sandstone is what we're going to go with. And now I'm just trying to figure out the shape of the roof, which we're going to pull into the middle of the room. And this, my friends, has got the right feeling. It's kind of big and grand, it's got a little depth, but it's totally lacking in texture, and also we need like some contrasting colors here as well. So I'm kind of picturing using the chiseled sandstone sort of alternating along this space right here. So you look up and there's like hieroglyphics, but we do need to also get in some other colors. This right here would be a good spot to put in something contrasting. And also, if I'm going to be able to open up the chests at the top here, they can't be full blocks. So maybe I can use a material that can be converted into stairs, and we can put those on top of the chests and then still open them. So orange sandstone doesn't really work here. The spruce is okay, but it's the same as the floor. And the bricks, well, I feel like we've used a lot of that on the outside and it doesn't really work too well in here. Probably because maybe we should actually just keep the sandstone. And, well, I think it speaks for itself. Now that this has all been finalized, it's actually really quite nice. And I'm thinking now about how we need to tie up these entrances over on this side. We're probably going to have some dark strip taupe linking things together over on this side as well as it wraps around to the main entrance. But in the back area, I was looking for a little bit of contrast, and I thought I would like this a lot more than I do. So maybe what I need to do is find another material and use this a little less, but I would like to use the orange sandstone. And of course, just around the back here is where we're going to have a smelter set up. Now the entrance here at the moment is looking pretty snazzy, more so when you approach it from this side here. And I've set up a beacon to do some digging with a certain someone in mind. I hope you haven't forgotten about Ray. As soon as I press F5, it's like, never forget that view. Look at my cool glasses right here. So Ray is capable of coming into the base, and even if we go over this string thing here in the middle, Ray won't go down there, which is super cool. And I've been eyeing up this space and thinking what we can probably do is actually squeeze in a pen inside of our base for Ray just into this space. But you might have noticed there's actually a hole below, and that's how I get down to my mine shaft. So maybe I'll move that over to this other spot here. So if you don't know the trick, you need your slabs at this height and that height, and to a horse that looks like an area that they can't go through, but actually you can ride them in. So when I leave Ray here, that's now his little horse pen, and it kind of looked like he actually went up onto the slab. So I will make all of this right here look far more interesting in just a moment, but I want to show you what I've done over here. One of the joys of this season of Hermitcraft is having paths that connect everything together. And so what I've done is created a path going across this river down below, which really needs a bit of work actually to turn it into a river. And that beacon that I built, you know, I didn't even think about it for more than a minute. I should have plopped it between the two locations, because when I came over here, the beacon effect ran out. But anyway, you can see it kind of goes down and under a little bit here to meet up with this path. And that's so we don't disrupt any of whatever this thing here with the minecart rail is that's going on. And I also feel like there's a bit of a theme here that we could use to kind of complement our build palette as we construct this path. There was also this other little caveat that meant that I couldn't just sort of come through this way, because Tango has actually constructed a farm inside of this mountain. So there's all of this redstone shenanigans going on down here. And I can probably get a better view of it from here. This is a concrete maker, and Tango like designs his own things each and every time, and it's just super cool and super different way of creating concrete. So for that reason, we are kind of like bypassing his project and coming across this way. And so there's a lot of grinding to do here. We're fleshing out the tunnels, building a bridge, doing the river down below. I think this is like going to be a project for my next couple of live streams that I do from Hermitcraft. For now, we really need to wrap things up in here and get this finished, which has been quite pleasant. Let's, take a step back and just appreciate the approach here, because it's quite gorgeous. And I've gone around and actually hidden some glowstone under some of these carpets, so this area should be safer. And as we go in here, you can see that it's very wooden. There's really not a lot of space for much. This is going to be how we get up and down from the bottom of the world. Over here we got a spot for Ray, and there's a few details like the cactus and the signs. I really like the signs actually. But going into this space, you'll notice that around the back here looks a lot cleaner, and it's a very simple layout but a nice use of textures here, as I've adjusted our furnace array. So around the back here it actually works the same as before, no clever redstone or anything. So I basically need to probably go and refill a lot of these shulker boxes with sticks. It looks like They have actually mostly been drained out into the hoppers below. And speaking of shulkers, the wall over here now looks a bit empty, and I kind of feel like replenishing it and maybe changing out this stone for something else as well. So I think what we should do is grab our derp coin and go buy some shulker boxes. And when was the last time we came here in a video? I think maybe actually earlier we swung by, but I didn't show the landscape around here. Very snowy looking, and apparently some snow on the inside, and there's lots of boats here on the ground. What's going on? Doc's just probably up to his usual shenanigans, right? So Doc was just asking for some iron. I thought I'd give him a reminder that he can of course get free iron, get some of his own anvils together. I've been putting all of Doc's boats back. I don't know why, this isn't particularly helpful, but this is what I decided to do. And Doc also needs some levels. Luckily I got all the things in my ender chest. So Doc was actually just over here changing the prices. It's 2 premium derp coin per box, or 8 for 5 boxes. That's kind of hard to read. And I need 10 of these in total, so I guess we're going to slap 16 of these in here, and then I think you just mine them. I do have a mild problem. I would like these shulker boxes not to be dyed. Yeah, that's it. I was just wondering if that wasn't a figment of my imagination. Yep, you used the cauldron. And now we have restored the glorious wall of boxes. And now those shulker boxes are off the wall, back into my inventory, because I'm running a little bit low, obviously, on sticks, redstone, some other stuff we need to AFK over here at the witch farm. And this storage system is just full of stuff that I'm probably not really going to use. So going to empty this out, AFK, fill up our boxes, and then we will be all good for some more projects in the next episode. But that's going to be it from me, so I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like if you did, and I'll see you in the next episode of Hermitcraft. Bye-bye.